Hi everyone, I'm Alice Silva. I'm a UNC Charlotte alumna, and I will be playing for you the viola excerpts for your audition. So my goal here is to play some parts and stop at the tricky passages and give you some tips on how to practice them, how to improve them for your audition. So first, I'd like to give you some general tips. Your Bach solo excerpts, they were originally written for cello. So I would highly recommend that you find some YouTube videos of really good cellists playing them so you can hear and you can get some ideas, and violas as well. The other tip that I think is really important for those excerpts is that you practice a lot with your metronome. I know that these are solo and you want them to be free and you want to have your own interpretation on how to phrase them, and you might want to take some time, might want to speed up and phrase it, but it's really important that you sound like you've done it intentionally. You don't want to sound during your audition like you're rushing. So it's really important that you always practice with your metronome, practice slowly, and increase the speed as you go and as you feel comfortable. Okay, so for the first half of the courant, I think that you might be able to see that the bowings and the slurs already help you make the phrasing. They already help you develop those dynamics. So if you make sure that you always distribute your bow well, you're gonna get really good phrasing. For example, on bar 8, if I move my bow towards the frog to get to bar 9, I already have a crescendo. And so on and so forth. The tricky part here is the bar 14 going to bar 15. Those two bars together, they have a long crescendo, and if you also just follow the bowing, make sure that you don't accent the down bows, you're gonna have a really nice phrasing. So I will show you how I would do it and how you shouldn't do it. So if we start bar 14 up, every 4/16 note is gonna be down. So make sure that you don't compensate that down bow to come back to the same place in your bow. So if we go, here's bar 14. That's what we don't want to happen. We don't want that accent on the down to go back. We want to allow the bow to travel to the frog. That way it's gonna help you do the crescendo. So if I do it really slowly, I can also practice without any of the fingers. So this is what it would look like. So you're traveling, you're helping the bow make the crescendo for you. So this is what it would sound like in tempo. Okay, the other very, very important thing is that on bar 13, beat 3, you travel to the tip. You make sure that you really travel fast to the tip, or else we don't have enough bow to make that crescendo. So here's bar 13. It's very slowly, so you can see what I'm saying. So, and then now you're at the tip to get that crescendo. Make sure that on that bar, that beat, you really reach the tip. Also, another very important thing on this section is that the very last note, you make sure that you play 2.5 beats. Even if you release, don't start the repeat early. So make sure you count 1, 2, and dun, boom, before you start the next part. Okay, this is the first half for you. The second half has a very similar, a parallel crescendo to the first half, and that would be on bar 36 and 37. So you can apply all those ideas to those 2 bars as well. So make sure that on bar 35, beat 3, you push the bow to the tip on the 3rd beat. So this is what it would sound like. And you get the idea. So if I'm on bar 35, I need to make sure that I do 2 downs on the 3rd beat, so I place the bow at the very tip. All right, before I play the second half of the courant, I want to talk about the 2 hard bars that we have. The hardest, I believe, are the hardest part of this movement. So that would be measure 31 and 32, and that would be our famous string crossing. These 2 bars can be really tricky because there is no pattern for your string crossing or for your slurs. There are too many concerns here. So what I would suggest for you to help you practice this part and sound better is for you to isolate those concerns. So there are a few ways that we can do that. One would be to separate everything. Forget about the slurs, just play every note separately. That is a way that you can practice every 16th note in this whole movement, actually. Make sure that you play everything separately so you are only concentrating on your left hand and on the string crossing. Of course, that's not the way you're gonna play ultimately, but it's good to have that muscle memory for you to know exactly where your bow goes. The other way for you to practice, we strip down even more to make it simpler, and that would be if we don't play the left hand at all. So keep the slurs, play the right string, but don't worry about the notes on the left hand. So this is what it would sound like. That is tricky because you're still gonna have to be thinking where those notes are, but you won't be putting the fingers down. So I would suggest for you to really work on that, and you will notice that way you will be comfortable with the muscle memory of the right hand, of where to go before you add the left hand to it. And you can practice those 2 ways in your 16th passage, in your 16th bars in this whole movement. Okay, so the other very important thing on the second half of the courant is all your accidentals. So these are really important. It's the development part of this movement. So make sure that you know where your accidentals are. So the first accidental that happens is bar 23. You have that D sharp. Give it a little bit of love. So I will stop there. I will start from the repeat section and then I'll stop at the D sharp. Then now comes the F naturals. Okay, so bar 27, what I would suggest for you to do is stay in first position. So you're gonna reach that D sharp with your low one. So basically that one, finger one is gonna get out of your first position frame to just reach that D sharp, but you will stay in first position. So this is what it would look like. Two, low one, two. As you notice, I really like first position and I also really like open strings. So don't be afraid to play your open strings. It's more important that you sound in tune and you sound confident than if you try a fancy fingering. Okay, so I think that is it for the courant. So let's now move to the two minuets. For these movements, you will have to really know your roadmap. So make sure that you understand your repeats. You will be playing minuet 1, then minuet 2. At the end of minuet 2, you should go back to minuet 1 and then you play it through, this time without any repeats. So make sure that you really understand your roadmap. The new element that comes in these two minuets is this bowing that you have 3/8 notes down bow, they are all legato, and then you have it's followed by 3/8 notes up, but this time with a little bit of detachment. So the way we are going to play that bowing is you will pulsate the up without leaving the bow, without leaving the string. So the bow won't really come off of the string. So if I can demonstrate on an open string, it would sound like this. So just pulsate your ups. That comes pretty often. Let's say bar 3, bar 5, and so on. So it would sound like this. Okay, so the way that we practiced the excerpts that we did on the courant also applies here. So you can think of not really worrying about the left hand, and then you can just work on the bow, and then you incorporate the left hand back in. All right, so then we have this chord, this beautiful chord that Bach wrote for us. The way I would practice the chord is first we have to make sure that we prepare it. So we go from the A string on the D, finger 3, to the G string together with the G and D, excuse me. So basically if I broke it down, I would go from A down to a G and D, and then D and A. So the way that we're gonna play this chord is 2 and 2, and then we stay on the D and A for the third beat. So this is how I would practice. First, you have to really prepare your elbow. You prepare your elbow so you can reach the lower string. So it's gonna move in advance. So here would be bar 3. So my hand is preparing ahead of the time. So my whole arm coming from the elbow. The motion comes from the elbow to get to those low 2 strings. Okay, the other way I would practice is by separating everything, all the concerns. You're still gonna play a legato, but the way you're gonna think is first we do 2 and 2. Then we're gonna stay on the D and A for all 3 beats. So now if I put the B, so finger 1 on the first 2 beats, then it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Now I can add the trill. And then lastly, I will add the little turn, the grace notes that come before the last beat. And make sure you use the metronome in your counting. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the whole phrase would sound like this. So minuet 2, we have a key change. So now we are going to be in G minor. So be careful, watch your B flats and E flats. Also, with the minor key, now we come to a more introspective mood, I would say. So you have the affettuoso written there, affectionate, and softer dynamics. So I know that I said I really like my open strings and first position, but this would be a very good place for you to actually start in third position, because that's gonna give that more darker quality to your sound, and it's gonna go really well with the minor key. So we will start in third position. So finger 3 on A string. Now we can open. And that's minuet 2. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you find this helpful, and good luck in your auditions.
Your journey as a musician involves hard work, discovery, and making music come alive. How do you become the musician you want to be? At Davidson Violins, we have the expertise to help you become a great musician. Our studios help students learn fundamental techniques that help them play some of the world's most beautiful music. Our luthiers adjust and repair your instrument to ensure you sound your best. Great instruments, bows, and a wide selection of strings allow you to be at your very best in auditions, orchestras, and your personal enjoyment. Come explore the world of string instruments with our staff of professional teachers, luthiers, and players. Visit us at 102A South Main Street in Davidson, North Carolina, or online at davidsonviolins.com. Davidson Violins is here to help you sound your best.